Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Don's Dialogue. Today we have Henry Organ, who is the owner of Disruptive Sports, NFL agent, esteemed alumni of USF. Don's, I just wanted to say thank you for hopping on. And then we have Damian Ochoa, who's a current grad student with us over at USF. Thank you for hopping on too. And we all have something in common here. Us two, both of the Damians on here are looking to become agents just like Henry, and I'm glad Henry's on here to shed a little bit of wisdom. And yeah, welcome to the studio, Henry.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me, man. And just trying to get back, right? We all help each other. Everybody talks about alumni helping, but nobody really helps.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And through that intro, is there anything that I missed on that intro list? I'm trying to do like a Club Shay Shay type intro, where he gets everything down.
Bro, I wrote a book. What else? I own some real estate. I mean, however you want to introduce somebody, it doesn't make a difference to me, man. I'm not that guy.
No. Well, let's add author to that list, and then we can talk a little bit about that book. What's it called, first of all?
Yeah, the book is called The Informational Interview Playbook. But yeah, that's what the book is. That's what it's about. It's pretty self-explanatory, but wrote it to really help give back. Before I went to USF, I did 100 informational interviews to help me get to where I'm at. And of course, I always give informationals every Friday. But now I just require people to buy the book and get halfway through it so they can be more up to par and just ask better questions and be at a higher level.
Yeah. And for those of the people that don't really know what an informational interview is, Damien, how about you explain real quick about Cellini's class and what we had to do for informational interviews to start out?
Yeah, so I've been doing informational interviews for a while. So it's like, it wasn't something new to me, but the way Cellini first course broke it down for us, and it was like, man, shout out to Cellini, man. He's the GOAT for real. He really got us like up to par of what grad school is. Undergrad, everybody's undergrad experience was a little different. Some people, see it as cakewalk. Other people were in the library grinding, right? So pretty much an informational interview is, you reach out to people doing what you're going to do one day, and you kind of ask them like, how did you get to that point? Is there any mistakes that you had in the past that you would, recommend that I avoid? And so it's pretty much just learning, how to get from point A to Z, right? So these informational interviews kind of open up the door to helping you get the job or career that you want. So I recommend that people start informational interviews. If there's undergrad students watching this, ASAP, grad students, anybody. And it's not just for the career that you want to, be in, right? You can have an informational interview with somebody in accounting. If you want to be an NFL agent, someone who's an agent, right? Like, there's something that you can learn from every single person in an informational interview that you can carry on into your future career. So don't limit yourself if you want to be in operations, just to operations people. Interview everybody, because people have come from all different backgrounds of life. So they all got different things that they can share with you.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, I'll pick up on the information interview to me, just like to your point, is you're seeking information from somebody that is doing something that you want to do or that maybe you're just interested in. And then it's, for me, in the book I talk about at least, it's about finding common ground, making that person see themselves in you and making them want to help you, right? Nepotism is a real thing. When you get to the higher level, when you get to jobs that require true skill sets or jobs that aren't like cash register, cash wrap. You got to know somebody that knows somebody to get you in there. Everybody says they're great with people. Most of you guys all suck with talking to people. That's just the reality and the truth of it. So you see people in jobs that you're like, how did he get that job? Well, he either knew somebody, he was born into that, or whatever it may be. But usually it's somebody. So that's
Yeah.
it.
And the way that Henry and I actually got acquainted in the first place was I reached out to him for an informational interview when I first started the program. And with that, I will say, Henry, you were definitely my most intense informational interview I've ever had. Like, I've talked to a lot of people, but the reason you're laughing, because
Yeah, I was hard on him because I know Cellini's hard on all Asians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, good that he's very that much harder on you because that's what it takes to be the Asian. If you don't have thick skin and you can't handle the fire, then get out because you'll get burnt up. So
It's true. Yeah.
it's fun.
And I mean, I got burned quick, especially with how our conversation went. I think a lot of people would have folded. I've told people, how one of my first informational interviews went. They're like, "Oh, why would you put yourself through that?" And I told myself, I was like, "No, I'm glad. Like, no one's ever really talked to me in that way because, I haven't been in a environment where they've needed to, and that really lit a fire up under me, which I appreciated."
For sure, man. I wish I would say I apologize, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
You got,
Yeah,
I wanted to make you better, man. Like you
yeah,
said, you wouldn't even Asian. Well, I was like, well, you don't know these questions. You haven't even done. You haven't even Googled. So
exactly.
a lot of the times people come to information interviews, they don't even have what's 1 + 1.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah. Do you have an informational interview that you remember doing from back in the day that really kind of had you go in that trajectory too?
Yeah, man. It's all written in the book. There was
Yeah.
one. I never had one like that. As far as that goes, just from the standpoint of like, I still followed up with you when you hit me up. I still like answer your phone calls or text messages, return them. The ones that I had like that, people were rude. I never heard from them again. The relationship was dead. You know what I mean? So they were just being complete jerks or just like super aggressive, but they didn't even have a follow up to help me. You know, so and I followed up. I kept following up, and I kept following up even after I got the job. They never responded. And then eventually, one of the people that ended up becoming, I ended up getting the job in Nike and football brand marketing. We were on the same level. I was a little bit higher, I guess. And what I mean by levels at Nike, there's like a pecking order, but not so much a pecking order. Just like he had to ask me for stuff to do his job.
Mm.
So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, oh baby, oh Mr. Ryan, you want help now, huh? Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm just straight up about it. I told his
Yeah.
boss, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So you just can't. You got to treat everybody the same, and if you genuinely want to help somebody, then follow up with them. So one of the motivations to write the book was for you. It's like you're in the program, but you didn't get the chance to necessarily role play, like how to prepare for it. So, now instead of having that kind of interaction with somebody that I don't know, how about you buy the book first, get halfway through it, and you should have all the tools you need to conduct the information interview the correct way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
one of the points to write in the book.
Yeah. Damien, have you had one that has stuck out to you so far yet? Since you've already gone through Cellini's class too.
Dang, I'm trying to think. Honestly, I interviewed just NFL agents because I'm when I have my mind set to something, there is no plan B. Like you asked me, like, what's your plan B? Like, I don't have a plan B. Like
Yeah.
I don't. I'm gonna become a successful NFL agent, and that's that. Like, the people that I've been around, the people that showed me the ways, like, I give credit, I give respect where it's due, and they've helped me get to where I am right now. I've had so many closed doors. Like, I literally in undergrad, whatever, junior year, COVID, I get it. I literally have a book in my room with agencies all across the U.S. because everybody was just doing remote interviews, phone numbers, emails, and literally 120 something different interviews. And every week I was calling agencies and emailing them, hey, can I get an informational interview? My name is Damian Ochoa. I go to Chapman University. I'm studying political science and entrepreneurship. I'm looking to become an NFL agent. I'm just looking for any opportunity. No. And I literally went to athletic director at Chapman. I said, look, I just sent out about 100 emails in the past, like 3-4 months. Like, I need a job. Like I said, I have no plan B. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And then he's like, well, I got a couple buddies that might be able to help you out. Do this, and that. And then he connected me with some people, reached out to a bunch of people on Instagram, nothing.
Who was the first one that responded?
She works at Athletes first agent ever to reply back to me. I'm about to look up her name right now real quick.
Receipts.
Yeah. That reminds me of when what did he say? I'm on Ross St. Brown, where he said he remembered every single wide receiver that was picked before him. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Gotta keep notes, man.
It's mad disrespectful that I can't remember the name.
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking, you know, I try to
Yes.
now, so I was like, bro,
She probably won't even. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
already shooting himself in the foot right there, man. Come on now.
I'm on the spot right now, so.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You're lucky we on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
She pretty much told me like take any job in sports. The sports world is so small, so like you'll be able to, she'll be, one person in that job. They might not be an NFL agent, but they know somebody who's an NFL agent because the sports world is so small. And sure enough, my first sports-related internship was from a Chapman alumni, Matt Kane. He's the owner of Open Gym Premier. Gave me the first opportunity, and I pretty much showed up in there, and I didn't even have a role, right? Like I didn't, hey, you're a marketing intern. Nah, it's kind of like show up every day at this time, and we're going to find something for you to do. And it went from the first day to doing something very minimal to 2 weeks in. I was inviting, AAU teams to basketball tournaments. I was checking in athletes during high school tournaments. I was helping out with their grassroots 365, which is like a player profile on student athletes. So like I was doing everything. And that was the thing. It's like a strong resources like from your alumni, USF alumni. There's so many of them. And I got my first internship through a Chapman alumni. So, but yeah, going back to like who was the most important like informational interview was the NFL agent from Athletes First, who kind of just paved the way for me a little bit and kind of just said, take any sports related internship. And when she told me that, I was like, well, I already got 1,000 no's, so might as well just, reach out to my Chapman alumni.
Utilize them.
I got my first internship.
That reminds me of, it kind of correlates with what both of you guys said, where it's like, who do you know, right? It's really about who do you know. And I've said this kind of from the jump, like, yes, I totally agree with that. But for me, it's like, I could say I know Obama. I could say I know anybody, right? As long as, if they don't know me, I don't think it really matters. Yeah. So it's who knows you more than who you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wrote that in the book, and I think it's in one of my papers.
There you go.
I remember her name now.
Like that. It's not who you know; it's who knows you. That's the thing. But that's important.
Savannah Foster is her name from Athletes First.
Shout out to Savannah Foster.
Yeah, shout out.
And what's funny is I actually ran into her a couple months at Loretto and Newport. So I saw her in person. It wasn't like, and then I interviewed her again for Cellini's, and that one was a little different though because Cellini, the first one was just like on my own will, and then with Cellini, he kind of told us like, this is what you got to do. You got to make them laugh. You got to make them like, okay, this kid did his research, like, and I did, and
well, smooth, yeah.
But that one was
Henry, I had a question though.
Yeah.
Depending on based on your journey through this industry, you said you worked at Nike, you've worked at a couple other places too. Would you kind of categorize your journey as traditional for someone who's in your field?
I mean, no. I think traditional agents, everybody assumes that being an NFL agent, you have to be a lawyer, which is not true. Most successful agents are not lawyers. Some of the most successful agents do not have a law degree. Mm-hmm. I'd say 90% of successful agents do not practice law.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was one thing that I was kind of stuck on when I was like, before I applied to USF, was like when I came back so I studied abroad right as I graduated. And then I studied abroad when I graduated, and I got back. I was like, all right, I'm either going to go to law school or I'm going to go to grad school. I'm still not sure, what I want to do. Kind of shopping around again for, internship, a job as soon as I graduated from undergrad, and then got connected with Lee Steinberg, got an internship, and then became a full-time employee after about 9 months interning for him. And he pretty much told me like, you don't need to go to law school. It's going to be super hard to, practice law and be an NFL agent. Like, yeah, it's going to help you out, strengthen up your background, and give you a little bit more knowledge when it comes to, understanding terms and stuff like that in the contract, but you don't need it. And once he told me that, I was like, all right, bet, say less. I'm going to grad school.
Yeah. And both of you guys can relate to this next part, but I was going to ask, Henry, since you came from Nike, which is definitely like obviously an established brand, I think everyone knows the swoosh. There was also a lot of stuff going around this week with Tiger Woods leaving. We could talk about that a little bit later. But I was going to say, how did it feel going from Nike to transitioning into like a boutique agency when you started your own stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, the transition, to be clear, was I worked at Nike, and then I left Nike. A lot of people know I started a sports model agency called Focus Models, which I sold. So basically, it was a vendor for Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, and we basically placed stunt doubles. That was our primary source of revenue and the primary source of what we got called to do. And then I worked for a sports agency in Seattle called Focus, which I helped rebrand and name and do all that stuff. Then I went to go to school to get my license and went to work at the big firms. So interned at Wasserman under CJ and Doug. Great experience, learned a lot. Then I had to get my license a year faster. Didn't hire me. So you got to make a way when there's no way, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Simple.
And Damien, you can relate to that a little bit because obviously you're wearing the shirt right now. Do you want to tell everybody where you work?
Yeah, so like I said, I worked for Lee Steinberg for about almost 2 years. And then you always got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Didn't see much room for growth for myself anymore at, his agency. So one of my mentors, Mr. Becker, that I actually met through Open Gym Premier, which was my first, as I mentioned earlier, my first internship in sports. He introduced me to the founder of our company, Chris Gill. So I stayed in touch with him for about 2 years while I was working at, SSE, and kind of just kept that relationship alive, hung out, met him in person, hit it off right away. And, when I felt like it was time for me to leave SSE, I reached out to Chris and said, hey, Chris, I'm, looking for new opportunities, at a new agency. I think, OSM, which is Optimal Sports Management, based out of Los Angeles. I think it would be a great fit for me, looking for a change. Yeah, so now I'm the director of football operations at Optimal Sports, and upon graduation in May of 2025, I'll be taking my agent exam. So that's where I'm currently at right now.
Nice.
You graduate in May, so you take your exam in July?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Congrats.
No, not this upcoming May.
Why not?
2025.
Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Why'd you miss
I'm in
the
the cohort. I'm in 25S. So I'm a year behind.
May 25.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to start studying the CBA like a couple months. So that way I don't have to crunch everything down into about 2.5 months. So I'll just start picking at it a little bit.
Yeah. When you applying for your test?
What was that?
When you applying for your test?
Honestly, I haven't even looked into that yet because I'm just gonna start. I'm more focused on getting that down. I know I got some time.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, this is what Henry does, man. He's gonna ask you the question.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. I was like getting PTSD right now from my information interview. But but I was gonna ask too. That goes into it too.
But when should I apply for my test? Because I know how much it costs and the insurance and all that, what you got to take once you apply for that. But like, I know it's only fostered once a year. So, I'm aware of everything, but
So Henry, give us some advice from someone who's gone through it. And
I'm not paid no more, man. You got to buy the book. I don't do this for free. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. We give the tidbits. What was your question, D?
Just a little bit of overall advice for anyone that's watching this right now that is thinking about applying to the program, getting into the agency world, coming from an agent themselves.
I mean, we're all agents. I don't really think there's anything special. Just go to the person that's doing what you want to do, which Mr. Ochoa is doing, because you guys are both D, so I'll just call you, D.
Yeah,
Do
yeah, yeah.
Mr. Do It, Let's just go ahead and take that and slogan it. Uh, just go to the person doing what you want to do and seek his advice and guidance, and then set a game plan. Set your dates and gates.
Yeah.
So you have a gate, but I didn't hear the date. So it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just fine tuning it. I don't think that he didn't answer the question. He has a game plan. He knows his stuff. So that's it. You were just intimidated back in the day. You
Yeah.
came on there, didn't have nothing. He's over here with confidence.
No, for sure.
He
Yeah.
talking, he talking at us. I
100%. Yeah.
love
No,
it.
I know
it.
now.
I love it. That's it. So
Yeah.
that's it, man. I think just he's got it, man. Having the confidence, you got to be arrogant in this business to a degree. You have to be. So
Yeah. And that's what I feel like a lot of people have categorized agents in their own realm, where it's like either they're sharks, they're slimy, they're this, they're that. What do you have to say to people that say that?
oh, they're right. I'm not an agent. I'm a player representative.
Yeah.
I'm not an agent. So
Yeah.
that's something that I said this to be cute, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that they're definitely right. But I just think that I mean, I mean, if you
Like
got
how if a player's talking to you and they're saying like, oh, like why would I go with you over all these other athletes? Like, there's a selling point for everybody. Does it have to come down to personality, or is it what you have to offer?
I mean, for me, there's just like different approaches. Some people have that hard sales East Coast approach. I call it. I guess like East Coast hard sell, like yada 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 yada. Is all I'm gonna do for you. These guys can't do nothing. They bad talk. I'm not for everybody. Everybody's not for me. I'm a firm proponent and believer that the player doesn't pick me. I pick the player.
Mm.
That's it. And then we decide if we're gonna get married or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just like anything. Like I mean, you guys probably all got girlfriends or had girlfriends. Or guy friends, whatever. Like the girl
Yeah.
doesn't pick you. You pick the girl. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So just it's the same difference.
100%. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I 100% agree with you on that. It's like, even at at OSM, it's like, we got to make sure that the players' values align with our values, right? Like, some players can, be a headache, right? And you don't want that. But like, you don't, like you said, the player doesn't pick me, I pick the player. And it's 100% true. Like, you don't, DMs are flooded all the time with like, hey, I need representation. It's just like, there's a certain criteria. And it's not being, I don't want to cuss, but it's not being messed up, right? It's just like, you either got it or you don't.
Mm.
And it's not just on the field, it's off the field too. The way you carry yourself off the field.
Yeah.
Sure.
And with both of you guys coming from would you still categorize Disruptive now, even after all of its success and everything? Would you consider it a boutique agency?
I mean, we haven't had a lot of success. Like we've had some success. Like I don't sit here and act like we're just like back to back to back first round draft. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I mean, it's whatever you guys want it out to be. We're agents. We're an agency. We run a legitimate business. We have a place to conduct business. A lot of people don't have a place to conduct business.
Mm-hmm.
We have processes. We have employees. We have staff. We have payroll. I mean, it's a boutique. It's a boutique. If it's considered a large firm, it's a large firm. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no difference. You got to get the job done. But
And regardless of what you call it, I mean, you got the powerhouses. Like right now, I'm in Beverly Hills, LA, right
yeah,
next to a Wasserman building, next to the CAA downtown. I don't know where it's at, but all of those big agencies. How do you guys feel like you compete? Compared to that, or anybody trying to get a good name player that's obviously has 40 other agents trying to talk to him.
yeah, I don't think at this point in time, like when I hear boutique firm versus large firm, to me that means resources. If a kid is good enough, I'll advance him $1 million. You know what I'm saying? If there's not like we play ball, you know what I mean? So when I hear boutique, I hear somebody that can't compete with whatever the financial terms are of the deal. You know what I mean? So I just think that with those guys, how you compete, it's a relationship driven business. If they have more contacts or connections or points of contacts to a client, they win at times. So doing everything in our power to combat those points of contact with the player and penetrate them and get to them before is everything.
Yeah. And Henry, I don't know if it's the same deal with you. Like obviously, Damien and I have both kind of known we want to be agents since a little bit of a younger age. Is it the same with you that you know what you wanted to do?
No, I'll be honest, I didn't. No, I didn't. I saw agents at a young age. I saw Aaron Gilbert at a very young age. So I saw black excellence at a very, very young age. I grew up with his
Mm.
daughter. AG, I remember when he first signed LeBron, and I was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? But he was already a superstar by then. I just didn't know it. I was like 9. You know what I mean? So, um, just in seeing that and seeing the excellence, it kind of was engraved in my head. And then me just always wanted to do business. I always wanted to do business. Business was everything. I did love sports, and then as I graduated and got older, I wanted to work at Nike. That was the goal. That was the vision. That was the dream.
Yeah.
Being an agent became a prerequisite. Like I want to advance. I want to push it. I don't want there to be a ceiling on how much money I can make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Business at an early age. Speaking of business, I've never really told anybody. But like in third grade, I used to like sell business, not business card, baseball cards to kids at school, and then the parents called in, like your son doesn't stop doing this, we're gonna kick him out of school. I've been a hustler since a little kid. Like, I love sports and business. Like that's why I studied entrepreneurship in undergrad, and it's like business, sports has played a considerable role in my life since a young age. So I can't play sports no more. So now I'm a combined passion for sports and business. So that's why I want to be an NFL agent. I want to help others achieve their goals.
Yeah, why do you want to be an agent? That's what I want to hear, D.
Which one?
Sorry. I call you. You remember you missed to do it now. The
Me.
original D. Yes.
Okay. I I want to help others achieve their goals.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're Mr. Do It. Because your last name is
Oh,
Ochoa.
I'm D. Oh, I'm D.
D. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You're the original D, but my bad. My bad. My bad.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, from the beginning, like I said, I wanted to be an agent for a long time. Realistically, for me, it came down to watching Jerry Maguire. Like that pushed me. I was what 15. And let's just say this. I'll give you a little bit of background, right? Like there's a reason I have a Jerry Maguire tattoo to this day. But
Wait, let us see it. Let us see it. It's
but
on your lower
I'll
back.
show you right now. I'll show you right now. Look, it's
It's
right
on
here.
its lower back.
It's right here. Okay. But let's just say this. It doesn't say
Oh
show,
my goodness.
it doesn't say show me the money, right? What it does say is Quan. All right. And I think that just meant a lot more to me than show me the money, all the stuff that Jerry Maguire came with, because realistically, I don't know if I fell in love with the agency. I don't know if I fell in love with being an agent, if that's what it is per se. But I fell in love with the idea of community, love, respect, and the dollars too. The fact that you can get all of that. He calls it Quan, Rod Tidwell, Cuba Gooding Jr. I related a lot more to his character than anything. And personally, when I started the program, I'm like, agent, agent, agent. As I've gone through the program, I'm not going to say no, that's not the case. But I do see myself more in a role that can be curated to helping out athletes, find philanthropic ideas, like really being able to help them do whatever they can off the field, on the field, like however I could be a resource. I've always been someone that connects with everybody. Like I've ever since I was little, my grandpa, he always told me, if I had a restaurant, I put you in the front because you're going to get people to come back, you know? And I've always kind of remembered that. I've always said, I've got a gift. Like I used to get a yellow card every single time in elementary school. They used to give me the card pool because I kept talking. But that's just because I wanted to hear, what'd you do this weekend, Didn't matter who I was talking to. I just loved talking. And if that worked out with an athlete, with an agent, I played lacrosse in college. I've been around all these agents talking to them. However I can do it. If you want to call me an agent, as being an agent, if it's athlete manager, brand representative, whatever it is. But yeah, I think that was just a little bit more like my why is because I haven't seen it firsthand, and I want to create something that I can be able to say, like, this is whatever you want to call it, like, this is what I do, right?
For sure. I respect it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. And we already.
When are you graduating again?
I graduate in May.
Ooh, wait, May 2024. Let's put this in notes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, it's already coming up, And I know, like, for myself, I feel like I've been grinding a lot these last couple years. Like, I haven't had a break, honestly, since COVID, and that wasn't a volunteer break, But what I do want to do is I want to travel. I think I've talked to Damien about that. Like, I want to travel for maybe a month, see the world, and then realistically, like, I know when I get back in here, it's
Game time.
full throttle, yeah, for the rest of my life. So,
Yes, sir.
Any travel recommendations? Send them to me after this.
Europe. Go.
Please. Yes.
That's the same thing like with undergrad. I went studied abroad in Madrid, had an internship out there actually, helping children in underlying communities pretty much like apply for jobs. And I was like their mentor for 3.5 months. Played sports with them, soccer, like these kids were raw talent, soccer,
Yeah.
Refugees from all over the world. And that was dope. Like that really opened up my eyes to how good we have it back here at home, and the opportunities that we have that other kids don't have to, be able to fulfill their dreams. So right when I got back, that's when it was like, all right, it's go time now. And that's when I went at it again, just giving it my all to, try and get that opportunity. And once I got that opportunity, I ran with it and I showed my value, to, everybody that I've shook hands with. So I definitely recommend you travel and, go somewhere else, leave the US, experience it.
Just for a little bit. I know it's different. I'm about to be in Brazil seeing kids playing soccer on a rooftop. Like, I'm just gonna hop in. That's something that you can't do here, and I can't wait. I think this next year is going to be really transformative with everything I got going on. And I know that the time's coming up. It's already a little bit past the time that we said. But any last minute things that you guys want to tell the audience?
Just listen to the people that have been where you want to go. You can do anything you set your mind to. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Mr. Do It.
Keep your foot on the gas. Like, shake as many hands as you can. Talk to everybody. Like, my cousins tell me all the time, like, we'll be out and they'll be like, bro, why are you always talking to everybody? Because you never know who you are. Yeah. And they never know the opportunity. Like, I can go in any room and I can talk to anybody. So shake everybody's hands, bring in that positive energy in every room and keep your foot on the gas. You're going to get a bunch of no's, but don't stop. Like I said, I don't have a plan B. It's only plan A, and that's to become a successful NFL agent.
Yeah. And once you realize that, you realize that's a gift. Like, not everyone can just go up and talk to somebody. Like, people look weird at you for a reason because they're like, did you just go up and talk to the girl you wanted to talk to? Or you talk to the dude that you've been saying, like, da-da-da? Like, not everyone can do that. So honing in on that, I think, is huge. And I'm glad that we got it figured out. I'm glad Henry tested me the first time that I talked to him and gave me PTSD during this call. And
You're just nervous, man. You're just nervous.
I know. It is what it is.
Blood in the water.
Yeah. But, hey, I appreciate the call, guys. This has been another episode of Don's Dialogue. Stay tuned for some more. And some great guests are on the way. So I appreciate everybody coming in. And thank you, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
Love it. Thank you guys for having me. Have a blessed one.
Bye.
Thank you, Henry.
See you all, brother.